Are you guys ready to see the cards? Let's have a look. So in the first position, our caterpillar position. What is being left behind? What is being outgrown? What are we ready to move on without, baby? And we got the ultimate letting go and leaving behind card. The Tower. The Tower. It looks a bit destructive, yes. It could be a bit startling. But this is actually a really good thing. And in this position, makes so much sense. The Tower represents sudden change, tumultuous change, big, energy, and things crumbling down, old beliefs falling away, perhaps leaving a job, a marriage, a home. You could be literally moving. And with this in this position, I feel that it's indicating that it's very favorable to embrace leaving things behind. It always is. We always know when we've outgrown something. And we don't always move away fast enough. But this is really encouraging you, saying, oh yes, if you want to move on from being a caterpillar, you definitely need to be willing to cut some cords, So, like I said, the Tower it's about change. It's a big change card. I feel there's a few nuances that apply here also. It's saying we should be brave and decisive about letting go. And, moving away from things and people and beliefs that aren't really helpful to us anymore. But it's also saying, I felt, that it's okay to do so without a whole lot of unnecessary force and drama. Like sometimes what I was picturing was we create a bit of a storm to cover our tracks, is the words coming through. So let's take a marriage, for example. Well, let's take a job, because that's a bit maybe less emotional to talk about. So let's say we're in a job and we're making enough money to pay our bills. Like, there's nothing intrinsically horrible about the job. It's not fulfilling, and there's something deeper inside us that we are being called to do. Now, what we might do is, we don't maybe have the courage to say, you know what, I think I want more than this, and I'm going to move on. So sometimes we create these Tower moments, and we make them really big. So we might find all kinds of reasons why our boss is a jerk and we're not getting paid enough. We might sit around checking statistics on what people get paid for the same work elsewhere, and creating a lot of unnecessary negative feelings and frustration. Well, I say unnecessary, but people use that as a way to propel themselves forward, to really get the fuel, if you will, to do what they deep down want to do, but maybe are having a little trouble admitting they want to do. So the message I received there was, if you can spare yourself a little bit of the extra turmoil and stuff, you might want to consider that, because you have a lot coming up here, and maybe you want to save your energy for that. I also heard this quote. I laughed when I heard this. This voice came through and said, it's true that you can't make an omelet without breaking some eggs, but there is no need to be throwing the shells into the recipe. Okay? So do what you have to do. Burn down the tower, but you don't need to set fire to 3 counties, right? Or you might be in a friendship where your boundaries are not being respected, or you're not feeling good about the time you're spending with this person. And by all means, Spirit wants you to be an advocate for yourself and protect your own needs and boundaries. But maybe it's not necessary to manufacture a complete argument, fight, friendship ending, kind of falling out with someone in order to get the space you need. Possibly you could do that by having an honest conversation with them. So ask yourself what needs to be let go, and ask yourself how you can do that with a minimal amount of force. It's just a nice, gentle letting go. So, as I say, this is a general reading, so these are just examples. You'll know if there's a situation in your life, if something's coming to mind right now, and you feel a little uncomfortable perhaps, maybe you're putting a little bit more fight and resistance into that thing than you really need to. It also warns us, we do that because we also might be afraid of the change, like I mentioned, or resistant to our personal transformation. And because this whole reading is about transformation and metamorphosis, if you've been drawn to watch this, you are probably undergoing a personal transformation now. And you are being reassured it is safe to trust your intuition. You need to embrace the changes and transformations you're encountering, and don't worry about over-explaining that to other people, or that's not your job, and they will understand or not according to where they are on their path, okay? The Tower tells us when we let go of the old, we are making room for something new. It's no different than when they demolish a building and you have this empty lot, and it's sad, of course, to see the old building go. Everyone feels that twinge of nostalgia when we see a demolished house, or maybe an old theater we used to go to or something. But then, of course, there's space for something new to rise, right? And so we get to receive the blessings if we're willing to let go of the outgrown blessings, because of course anything we're letting go of was a blessing at some point. And that might sound weird if you're thinking about, quote, negative behaviors and things like that. Maybe you have an addiction that you're trying to let go of, but at one point that was something that helped you at some level. And if you're letting go of it, it means you're moving on to better tools. So whether it was an addiction, a coping skill, a behavior, maybe a limiting belief that kept you feeling safe, it's okay to let that go. You don't need it anymore. You're ready to move on. So make room for the new. You're going to benefit. You cannot carry all the old baggage with you. You don't want to mistake familiarity for safety. That was another message that came through. So what I did this time to try this collective method out was I shuffled and drew the cards and ended up, as I said, getting twice as many as I asked for. And then I actually took a good long time to meditate and jot down some notes and things. So if you hear me rifling papers here, I was jotting down particular phrases and things as they came through, just to make sure I didn't miss any of the little nuances happening for us here. So letting go, drop the baggage, guys, and the treasure you seek is in the cave that you fear to enter. Have you all seen that meme, that quote? I believe it's Joseph Campbell. I could be wrong there. But this was a really big waving flag, okay, from my inner guidance when I thought particularly about letting go of baggage and not taking too much with you. So even things, maybe you have a belief. Oh, here's a good one. Like, a lot of people think you have to drink 8 glasses of water a day. And I tried that for a while because it was supposed to be good, and it made me feel horrible. And my body doesn't like that much water. And the other day I saw a little video on some medical reasons why a lot of people really don't benefit from 8 glasses of water, and how that was just a really ingrained belief. So if I'd gotten comfortable with the familiarity of believing that that was the right way to care for myself, then I could have actually caused myself damage, never mind missed out on the benefit of feeling properly hydrated, which for me comes in different forms than water. I personally like fruit. That works for me. So don't worry if something's different than what you're used to. That's a good sign, okay? The last thing that Spirit said on the last quote about that particular idea, get out of the tower, because darlings, You were never meant to live there.